Well, for more on that humanitarian crisis, we can now speak to Carl Skembry. He's from the Norwegian Refugee Council and is joining us from Erbil. Carl Skembry, good to speak to you on TRT World. So just take us through, what are your main concerns for the looming humanitarian crisis that may well have faced those leaving Mosul?
Well, we're first of all extremely concerned for the people still inside the city, some 1.2 million. We don't know what is happening exactly in there. We are told from the little contact we have with them that they are extremely terrified and scared of even moving around. There has been some movement apparently from the west to the east of the city, but we can't get the full picture and the full extent of what is currently going on. Our concerns are definitely the protection and safety and security of the civilians trapped in the city, as well as the longer this operation drags out, they will start running out of supplies. We know that a lot of the families have been stocking up on food and water and medicines that they could need in the coming days, but they will run out, and that will be extremely difficult to get any aid in as soon as the fighting intensifies.
Well, that's those people within the city, Mr. Skembry. But what about those who've managed to leave? We're having reports that hundreds have escaped from outlying villages earlier today. The UN are warning of 100,000 leaving in the next few days. What kind of resources do you have in place around Mosul to make sure that these refugees are received?
At the moment, there are new camps that have been set up to receive up to 60,000 displaced people. That is just a fraction of the total number of people who are expected to leave in the coming days. The humanitarian agencies such as the Norwegian Refugee Council and all the others we're working around the clock to make sure that we're prepared to receive more, and we're stockpiling food aid, emergency water rations, mattresses, tents, but it is a great race against time. Let's not forget, Iraq has, as you mentioned earlier, a massive chronic displacement crisis. Even before talking of Mosul, already over 3 million Iraqis were displaced internally, and they also need help in the lead up to the offensive on Mosul. Over 100,000 people were already displaced in the so-called Mosul corridor, that is south of Mosul, in villages and towns where people were under the brutal authority and under the brutal control of ISIS, who have been forced to flee their houses because the fighting was happening there in the last months. Many people might not have heard about the build-up to this final offensive, but there are thousands of Iraqis outside of Mosul who have already been displaced, and it's straining all the resources of all the humanitarian actors on the ground and, of course, of the Iraqi authorities.
Okay, well, Carl Skembry there from the Norwegian Refugee Council in Erbil, thank you.